Hello all and welcome back to my channel. Today I am here for describing the input-output interfacing. So today's tutorial is going to detail description of input-output interfacing, what is the process, how any type of peripheral should be interfaced with the 8085 microprocessor, and according to the block diagram the performance is going to be discussed here in details, and last of all the third part is going to share some applications and how the address range is generated by using this type of interfacing. So before starting the detailed topic, if you are newcomer in my channel, then please subscribe my channel and click the bell icon so that you never missed the updates from With-us Classroom. Let's check the playlist where you can find out the job notifications related about government and private job and some online money earning strategies, and some discussion where you can get some tips and tricks how to crack exam, and obviously in classroom session you can find out engineering subjective tutorial. Now the series is going on about microprocessor 8085. So now go to the point. So here let me explain first the introduction part of the input-output interfacing. Later you can get the classifications, and obviously last part is going to application part of the input-output interfacing. So first, input-output interfacing, why it is required? Because this type of interfacing is required only when microprocessor or even microcontroller or even any processor is going to point out any peripheral or input-output device. As like when in case of computer, the input-output device may be your keyboard, mouse, printer, LCD or LED display, like that. So when microprocessor has to send any data or accept any data from input device either or rather than it has to send the data to the display device, then microprocessor has to pointing out that particular location from where it can accept the data, otherwise where it have to send the data. For that reason this type of interfacing is required. So in case of input-output interfacing, the mainly the number of input-output connected and a memory connected, that is the actual capability of the input-output interfacing. So in case of input-output interfacing, we can get the isolated input-output interfacing, the actual isolated input-output interfacing. That means that input-output device should be separate from the memory. This is obvious case, and in this obvious case, in that case the mapping is also happened with the help of some differentiating the address and the data bus, where we can know that we have already known that address and data bus in case of microprocessor 8085, the address bus is 16-bit and the data bus is 8-bit. So here when input-output device is performing separating from the memory device, then input-output device have to access these two buses in a isolated way. Okay, so when CPU decode the instruction, then if data is for input output, then it places the address on the address line and set the input output read or write control line according to the transfer the data only between the CPU and the input output device. The separate address of the input output is called the port. So here this is the port, and as like that when the different type of input-output devices are connected with the address bus, then the each and every different address of the input-output device is called the port. In that case, this is the very important in input-output mapping. From this 16-bit only 8-bit address bus is reserved for the input-output mapping. So in case of input-output mapping, the capacity is 2 to the power 8. That means 256 number of port can be interfaced only in case of input-output mapping. And in that case, only the two instructions are going to be performed. One is accept, for accept the data, that is in instruction, and for send the data, that is the out instruction. This is only the two instructions which is only supported when the microprocessor or CPU unit is going to perform the input-output mapping. Now the basic term, that is how the control signal is generated. In this case, the control signal generation is a very important part of interfacing. So in that case, we can get that when the microprocessor is able to accept the data from any input or peripheral device, that is called the read operation. So in that case, we can get the read bar signal, and when the data must be sent from microprocessor to output or peripheral device, then that is called the write operation, and in that case write bar signal should be performed. But when this signal is collaborating with the input-output operation, then the 4 signal is going to be generated. That is IOR bar, it is called the input read, IOW, that is input write, MEMW, memory write, and MEMR, that is memory read. So by this particular signal generation, operator can understand that what type of performance is going on. So now let's check how the control signal is going to be generated. So IO/M bar. So in that case, if logic should be applied here, then we can get IO, this pin is high when the input-output operation is going on, and this pin is low when the memory operation is going on. So in that case, through a NOT gate, if this signal is passed, that means we can send here input-output, because we have to transfer this high signal to low signal. So we have to pass through a NOT gate, and here we can get the NAND gate, and in that case we have to apply this signal and the read bar signal and generate the IOR bar. And as like as if IO/M bar, that means high signal is passing a NOT gate, and then we can also apply the write bar signal, then we can generate that IOW, that means input write operation. So the same process is happened when the memory write or memory read signal is generated. So here, when the memory read signal, this is directly applied to the NAND gate, and this is ANDed with the write bar signal, and in that case this is ANDed with the read bar signal, and here the memory is going to be ANDed with the write bar signal and generate the memory write and memory read signal. Now come here the interfacing technique of the I/O device and the peripheral. That schemes must be divided in two parts, that is memory mapped I/O and the I/O mapped I/O. And in case of memory mapped I/O, the device, that means input output device, is completely treated as the memory locations, and all the data transfer instructions are performed here. And in the memory mapped I/O, basically the operation is going on any register of the microprocessor with the any port or the any input output device. So data transfer is going on microprocessor register with the another peripheral ports. And in case of input output mapped, the input output device is treated distinct from the memory, that means it is treated as separately another device. And in case of I/O mapped I/O, So when this pin is high, that means 1 is applied here, then that is indicated at the input output operation. But when this pin is going to low, then this is for the memory operation. Now the point is IO device selection. This is the most important part of interfacing, that in case of device selection you have to point out the 3 part. That is, first one, you have to decode the address to generate a unique signal for controlling or for selecting the actual port or the device. Okay. Now the second one is, when device address signal and the control signal like IOR and IOW both are goes to low, that means 0, then you have to generate the device selection signal by which your device is or the chip of that particular device should be selected and activated. Okay. Now last part is, now activate the device, and then you have to go for the performance, and the input output interfacing technique is then going on. This is the 3 steps by using which you can go and select the any device, either that is input device or that is output device. That means the input output device selection may be happened. Now come to the application portion. So the basic application portion, where the main question arises, that how to interface with input and output device. And if you are interested to understand this concept using any example, like using any display unit or any input device, and how the address is selected, how the port should be activated, then write in comment section. I will definitely create the another different videos depending upon that topic. Now here this part is input port selection and this figure is output port selection. I have drawn these both portions in a single pages because you have to understand the different concept. This is input part, this is the output part. So input part, what is the input? Basically switches are the input parts. So here the 8 switches are connected, and this is our tri-state buffer. Before going to this portion, so what is going on? At first this tri-state buffer must be activated, and now pointing out this output portion, this tri-state buffer is connected with actually the latches, and then latches is connected with the any display unit. Here the LED light is connected. So here the switches portion, this is the LED portion is connected here. Okay. Now when this tri-state buffer must be activated, so here the chip selection is going on. So we have to understand the how this particular chip selection is going on. So here at first, the first stage, we have to select or generate a chip selection signal. So first part is, this is our decoder unit. Basically 4 to 8 or 4 to 16 or 3 to 8 decoder, it must be used here, this type of applications. So here this is the address bus, and I have already mentioned that the LSB portion of the address bus, that means A0 to A7 portion, is actually used in the input output interfacing technique. So here the address bus is connected according to the logic to generate the chip selection signal, and this is the device selection signal, and this is going to the operating signal. That means here actually the read operation is going on because this is the input part. So IO bar signal is generated here, and this IO bar and the chip selection signal is going through a logic gate and generate the device selection signal. And after applying this signal, this tri-state buffer is going to be activated. Now according to my questions, according to the given questions, that what switch is connected here, that means what path is going to be closed. Suppose the I3 is going to be closed, then O3 is activated. If I0 is closed, then O1 is activated. Like this is happened. Okay, coming to the point, that is how the output device is selected here. So in this case, in the case of output device selection, first we have to generate the operating signal. That means here IOW, as because this is the output portion and the write operation is going on, so we have to generate the IO bar signal. Okay, and according to this decoder, this is also the same decoder is used here. Using this decoder, we can generate the device selection signal, and which is applied these latches, and where the 8 different LED L0 to L7 is connected with the different data line. Okay, so here according to the logic, this port is generated. So this is how this portion is happened. Suppose here A0 to A7 is connected because the LSB portion of the address bus is connected here, and in that case what logic is going on, according to this the bit is applied each and every bus of the address bus. Okay, now if Y1, from the Y1 portion we can get the output signal, so we have to write here, this is the input, corresponding output is generated here. So here A2, A1 and A0 is the decoder input, and remaining the A3, A4, A5, A6 and A7 are reserved for the decoder selection purpose. Okay, now the address is Y1 must be selected, so we have to apply here the corresponding binary number 001. If they are Y5 or Y2, you have to apply here 010, like 001, 010, okay, 1000101, as like as this is the changing purpose to select the output port. Okay, so now convert this binary bit and you can generate the port address, that is according to this logic, according to this figure, we can get the 81H hexadecimal. So this is the port address of the output device selection is happened. So this is the actual application portions, that is the how to interface with input and output device. Hope this video is helpful to each and everyone, and the concept is going to be cleared. If you have any queries, write in comment section below. I will definitely clear all your doubts. And if you are interested to know that how the chip selection and the address generation is happened, then mention in my comment section. I will definitely make the another part in a different videos. So this is for today, and I will come back with the next tutorial in the next. Till then, thank you, take care and goodbye.